So we just had the men's draw come out for Cincinnati, and kind of randomly, they've announced the women's draw. So let's go through it really quickly because there are some big names playing, but of course some big names are also pulled out. Let's go look at the withdrawal list first. So the players that are not going to be playing at this tournament, Andreeva, she has pulled out. Badosa's also pulled out. Boison has also pulled out. Eala, she's not going to be playing. Jabeur, Kvitova, also not playing. And Zhang, who had surgery a couple of weeks ago, is also not going to be playing in this one. So some very familiar names there, but a lot of big names are playing, so let's get to the top of the draw. So, of course, 32 seeds in this one, and all the seeds get a bye in the first round, starting with Sabalenka. She's back for the first time since Wimbledon. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either the winner of Vondrousova and Christian, who are going out of the first round, so a very fun second round against Vondrousova, potentially. Then we've got Danilovic taking on Bolter. Winner of that takes on Raducanu, the number 30 seed, so very fun start to the tournament in this section. Then you got Fernandez, the number 21 seed. She gets to play either Venus Williams or Monero in the second round. Then you got Collins taking on Townsend. Winner of that will take on the number 13 seed Samson over in the second round. So that section of the draw is crazy. So many dangerous unseeded players. All the seeds are very dangerous as well. So very tough start for the title defense for Sabalenka. But of course, you got to watch out for Sabalenka. You got to watch out for Samson over as well. Also got to watch out for Fernandez and Raducanu. All have been playing really well lately, but it's the unseeded players. You got to watch out for Vondrousova. She beat Sabalenka on the grass courts before Wimbledon. Remember that? Also got to watch out for Venus Williams. Has been playing really well over the last couple of events. And also Collins. Very dangerous unseeded player. So the top half or the top section of the draw, super stacked. Next part of the draw, you've got Rybakina, the number 9 seed. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Zarazua or Putin Saber in the second round. Then you've got a qualifier taking on Baptiste. Winner of that will take on the number 19 seed Mertens in the second round. Then you got the number 27 seed Pavlyuchenkova. She'll take on either a qualifier or Rouget in the second round. Then you got Pera taking on Lise. Winner of that will take on the number 6 seed Keys in the second round. So again, another jam-packed section of the draw. And a lot of dangerous plays in this section. Of course, you've got to watch out for Keys. Didn't do great in Canada last week. Made it to the second week, well, the second half of the tournament, but just couldn't keep it going. Of course, you've got to watch out for Rybakina. She's playing great in Canada at the moment. And also, you've got to watch out for Mertens and Pavlyuchenkova as well. So, very interesting section because, of course, this and the Sabalenka section is the top quarter of the draw. So, super stacked and super dangerous. Next part of the draw, you've got Swiatek, the number 3 seed. Gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Potapova or a qualifier in the second round. Then you've got a qualifier taking on Maria. Winner of that will take on the number 25 seed Kostyuk in the second round. Then you've got the number 22 seed Fresh. She'll take on either Kostaya or Vekic in the second round. Then you've got Mboko taking on a qualifier. Winner of that will take on Schneider, the number 14 seed in the second round. So again, a very interesting section of the draw with a lot of dangerous informed players. So it's going to be interesting to see Swiatek go through this draw because you've got to watch out for Swiatek in this one. Did okay in Canada and of course won Wimbledon, so she's got to be feeling pretty good about herself going into this tournament. Made the semi-finals last year because you've got to watch out for Schneider as well and Frere. But Kostyuk, if she's healthy, we all know how dangerous she was last week. So definitely someone to watch out there, potentially in the third round for Swiatek. But Mboko, massive unseeded player, did really well in Canada this week and looking to continue that on into this tournament. So you've got to watch out for her as well in this section. In the next section of the draw, you've got the number 12 seed Alexandrova gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Sun or a qualifier in the second round. Then you've got Joint taking on Minen. Winner of that will take on the number 18 seed Haddad Meyer in the second round. Then you've got the number 28 seed Kalinskaya. She'll take on either Stearns or Wong in that second round. Then you've got Starab Deseva taking on a qualifier. Winner of that will take on the number 5 seed Anisimova in the second round. So again, a lot of big hitters in this section and a very tricky draw for all players involved. But of course, you've got to watch out for Anisimova. Has played so well over the last couple of weeks. In fact, over the last 12 months, has played so well. But it's not going to be easy for her in this section. Of course, you've got to watch out for Alexandrova. Massive hitter, and especially on hard courts and fast hard courts, can be real dangerous. Also, with Dajmeyer and Kalinskaya. Of course, Kalinskaya just making the final of Washington a couple of weeks ago. So it's going to be really fun to see which seeds get out of this one because it is very, very stacked in that top half of the draw. In the bottom half of the draw, we've got the number 8 seed Navarro. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take in either Kudermetova or a qualifier in the second round. Then you've got McNally taking on another qualifier. Winner of that will take on the number 29 seed Kessler in the second round. Then you've got the number 24 seed Kennan. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either a qualifier or volley nets in the second round. Then you've got Cartel taking on Garcia, who's coming back with a wild card. Winner of that will take on the number 11 seed Mukova in the second round. So, very fun section again. A lot of players there that could definitely make a run here. But of course, you've got to watch out for Navarro. Hasn't really fired that much over the last couple of months and has a lot of points to defend in America. So really needs a good week this week. Also got to watch out for Mukova. Still trying to come back and be more consistent on tour and injury-free, but she could be very dangerous here. Also got to watch out for Kenin and Kessler. Kessler's been really good this season as well. But Garcia, coming in as a wild card, out of retirement, which I think she retired at the French Open this year, so really keen to see what she can do because we all know how good she can be, especially on hard courts with her game. Next section of the draw, you've got the number 16 seed Towson. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Bondare or Tomanovic in the second round. Then you got Lemens taking on Kudermetova. Winner of that will take on the number 17 seed Bencic in the second round. Then you got the number 31 seed Lynette. She'll take on either Dollarhide or Shrimkova in the second round. Then you got Blinkova taking on Birrell. Winner of that will take on the number 4 seed Pegula, who made the final here last year and has a lot of points to defend over the next couple of months. So, very fun section again, and a lot of players here that are either in form or need some form. Not too many dangerous unseeded players as the other sections, but still, the seeds, any of them could get out of this section. Of course, you've got to watch out for Pegula. Like I said, got a lot of points to defend here, making the final last year. Got to watch out for Towson as well, who's having a great week in Canada. Also got to watch out for Bencic. We know how dangerous she is on all surfaces, so definitely a tournament that she could do well at, but it's going to be fun to see who gets out of this because, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, the seeds aren't always getting through as much as we had expected on the WTA for 2025. Next section of the draw, we've got the number 7 seed Paolini gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either a qualifier or Zachary in the second round. Then you got Sevastova taking on a qualifier. Winner of that will take on the number 26 seed Kruger in the second round. Then you got the number 20 seed Noskovic. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Osaka or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got Parks taking on Krejcikova. Winner of that will take on the number 10 seed Svitolina in the second round. It's a really fun section again, and also a potential unseeded player to get through because there's a lot of dangerous unseeded players in this section. Because you've got to watch out for Paolini. Kind of needs to gain some points over the next couple of tournaments because lost a lot of points at Wimbledon at the French Open by making the finals last year. So really needs to win some points here to keep her ranking high. Also got to watch out for Svitolina. Played really well this week in Canada before Osaka stopped her. But the unseeded players, got to watch out for Zachary, very dangerous, and played really well a couple of weeks ago. Sevastova, also very dangerous, played really well beating Pegula last week in Canada. Also Osaka, who's still going in Canada, which is going to be really fun to see if she can keep it going. And Krejcikova, we know how dangerous she can be as well. So a lot of dangerous unseeded players in this section could do some real damage. And the bottom part of the draw, we've got the number 15 seed Kazatkina. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Zhu or Bronzetti in the second round. Then you've got Uchiyama taking on Osorio. Winner of that will take on the number 23 seed Ostapenko in the second round. Then you've got Yastremska, the 32nd seed. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Lee or a qualifier in the second round. Then you've got Wong taking on Arango. Winner of that match will take on the number 2 seed Gauff in the second round. So we could be getting a Wimbledon rematch between Yastremska and Gauff in the third round. Of course, Yastremska upset Gauff at Wimbledon in that first round matchup. So it could be really fun to see that rematch. But of course, you've got to watch out for Gauff. Really trying to gain some form after not playing great last week on the hard courts of Canada. Also got to watch out for Ostapenko. We know how dangerous she is on all courts, especially when she starts to get into form. Also Yastremska as well. Let's see if she does play Gauff again and get a good rematch in that second round matchup. But it's going to be fun to see who gets out of this section. It doesn't feel like anyone really has an easy draw. So there it is. That is the draw for Canada. Now, you might have noticed there was a couple of performance buys. Now, we're just going to wait for tomorrow's results. So Mboko and also Osaka, they might get performance buys based on their results, which means that they don't have to play their first round matches and they get straight into the second round because they won't be on the, I guess, at the tournament at the first round match, you know, when Canada's still being played. So if they both make the final of Canada, they get a bye in the first round as a performance buy, which is a very rare thing that happens, but it does happen if there's a bit of an overlap in the tournaments as we have this week. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But let me know in the comments below, who's going to win this tournament? Because it feels very, very tough to pick. It doesn't feel like any of the top seeds have a good draw, and some of the top seeds don't even have good form. So it's going to be interesting to see who does win this tournament. But there it is. That's Cincinnati for next week, and it starts in a couple of days.